It was a brief encounter here about 27 years ago in Stafford Road that things really started for Jane and I. We'd first met at a church meeting where we'd sat next to each other, had chatted, but then had gone our separate ways at the end of the meeting. And it was a few days after that, I was on my way home from work, walking along Stafford Road, when I spotted the girl I'd sat next to at the church. But because Jane's short-sighted and she didn't have her glasses on, she walked straight past me. But I'd spotted her and I went and chased after her, and we arranged to go on our very first date. And a couple of years after that, in 1985, we got married. We had a great wedding at Sutton Christian Centre on Saturday, September the 7th, 1985. Here are some pictures from the very day. Somebody told me not to say awful wedded wife when I said my vows, and that's all I could think of. But the service itself was wonderful. Mike and Dee, who are here tonight, sang while we signed the register. My best man Mario did a great job, and we emerged as Mr. and Mrs. Adams. We had our wedding reception here at Carew Manor. I can't remember too much about the reception itself, except that in his speech, Mario, my best man, described our relationship as being pure and simple. Jane, he said, is very, very pure, and Rick is very, very... The last 25 years have really flown by, and we have had the greatest of time with loads of shared happy memories. And our 5 fantastic children have kept the happy days coming. And so with lots of apologies to Si, Bo, Jewel, Abs and Els, here are some old clips. What's Simey? All right then.
Samir Dan Wanu, Samir Dan and Cecily Pan. If you want to be my lover, stop. You think like a nut. What do you think? I'm giggly crazy. Oh. Hello, cheesy bottoms.
Who's got to go out? Who's got to go out?
What? Who? My clock.
Your clock, is it?
Okay, it's Daddy. Daddy. It's that. It's that. It's that. It's that. Are you in there?
I think that Jane and I have both changed from the people that we were 25 years ago, and we've both changed each other as well. Jane won't mind me telling you that she's quite feisty, and I think that I've picked up some of her feistiness along the way. She's a great person to come home to if I've got any moans. She'll listen to all of my moans. She keeps me healthy. She gives me these 3 pills to take every day. I get a light brown hard one, a dark brown soft one, and another soft one which is amber coloured. I haven't got a clue what they're doing to me, but I take them every day. She's a great mum, a far more caring person than I could ever hope to be. Although the one thing that she doesn't care about particularly are cooking instructions, and Abigail at this point will be going ballistic because she'll know what I'm about to say, because we tend to dine on Sainsbury's ready meals each night, or most nights, those meals that you put in a microwave, and Jubs, as we call her, she's found a way of making even those meals appear quicker than they're meant to. I mean, most of them are done in about 5 minutes. And the cooking instructions usually say that halfway through cooking you should peel back the cellophane layer, having taken it out of the microwave, peel back the cellophane layer, give it a bit of a stir round, and then cover it back up again, pop it back in the microwave for the remainder of the cooking time. But not our Jubsy. She's perfected something that she calls the Jubs, well, she doesn't call it that, we call it the Jubsy shuffle. So about halfway through the cooking time, instead of taking it out, peeling back the lid, giving it a good old stir and popping it back in, what she does is she opens up the microwave about halfway through, takes it out, gives it a quick shuffle, a Jubsy shuffle, sticks it back in for the remainder of the time. We're still living, so it hasn't done us any harm. And I'm tending to waffle on a bit now, and Jane tells me that I do have a habit of waffling on. So I'm going to hand over to Jane in a moment, but just to say I really can't think of anybody else that would have put up with me for quite as long as Jane has done. So now, over to Jane.
Oh, I'm not ready yet. Can you turn it off? I can't remember my first word. Can you turn it off a minute? Turn it off a minute. I'd gather my thoughts. Can I remember how it started? Hang on. I should have written it down. Okay. Right. Could you sit over there? Could you sit over there? I just seeing your face behind the camera is not helping. Right. Just don't look behind the camera. Come and sit to one side. Do you want to do yours first? It just seems so silly, doesn't it, talking to a camera? Eh? Talking to that little thing there, it just seems so silly. Right. Okay, I'm going to start by saying how pleased we are to see everybody here. Some of you haven't seen for years, so it's great that you could come. And looking back over the last 25 years, the one word that comes to mind is fun. It's been lots of fun. And ever since our wedding day 25 years ago, I haven't stopped laughing, and you can make of that what you will. But really, we haven't. We've had bad times and challenging times like everybody, but overall it's just been lots of fun. And I'm going to tell you a few things about Rick that you might not know. And the first one is that he is incredibly untidy, and when we got married he pledged all his worldly goods to me, but I didn't have any knowledge then, no indication of how many worldly goods that would actually entail. And for 25 years I've been tripping over carrier bags, I've been climbing over piles of books, and when we moved 3 years ago, the removal men with years and years of experience, in exasperation, they just paused and they said to me, "You never throw anything away, do you?" And we don't. We just don't. Or rather, he doesn't. We just have to move because we get so much stuff that we have to move house. We need a bigger property. So there's that. That was a bit of a shock. And then the other thing is that Rick can't sit still. When we go on holiday, everybody else is sunbathing on the beach, and Rick will be behind climbing a hill, or he'll be digging a hole, or he'll be building the biggest sandcastle, the best sandcastle on the beach. And just to make sure of that, he'll be scouring the beach, checking out the competition, making sure that nobody's sandcastle is bigger or better than his is. So I've had 25 years of that as well. And then the other thing to say about him, can we stop this a minute because I forgot what the third thing is I wanted to say. What's the third thing? The third thing. Oh yes, the third thing is his love for tea. Honestly, I feel sometimes that he ought to take it intravenously. It is that much of an obsession with him. He drinks tea on the hour, every hour, and I'm not kidding you. And after 25 years, he still, although he loves tea so much, he doesn't know how to make it for other people. And after 25 years, he still doesn't know how I like my tea. He doesn't know that I like a lot of milk in my tea. So anyway, you will edit this, won't you? Quite substantially. So those are the three things that you might not know about him. The one sad thing is that my parents have passed away in the last few years, but they were always extremely fond of him. And the one thing that my mum would say if she was here tonight is that she couldn't have found a nicer husband for her daughter. And so on that, I'd just like to say I hope you all enjoy the party, and thanks again for coming. How's that?